What's up, addicts? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. In this video, we are going to be looking at the fantasy outlook for Noah Fant, tight end for the Denver Broncos, giving you guys an in-depth look at what we can expect from him heading into 2020. But we're also going to be doing this for a lot of the other fantasy relevant players, doing over 100 of these Outlook videos. So hit that like and subscribe button for more. Also, check our website out at fantasyaddictionnetwork.com. But without further ado, let's take a look at Noah Fant. So Noah Fant last year coming into his rookie season and made a pretty big impact from a tight end perspective. You don't really see many tight ends do too much in their rookie year. 40 receptions, 562 receiving yards, and 3 total touchdowns. Didn't miss any games, although he did have some games where he left early. Finished as the 16th most fantasy points among tight ends with 111, but averaged 28th in fantasy points per game. It was a bit volatile, but again, you don't expect too much from a rookie. Had multiple weeks where he finished as a top 3 performer, which was astounding. And the rest of the season, you weren't very happy that you started him. So he wasn't a fantasy option by any means, but definitely showed a lot of spark, a lot of promise, especially that game against Houston where he played with Drew Lock, 4 receptions, 113 yards. So could very well become a fantasy stud here within the next couple years. Not expecting too much of a big step forward this year, but he has it in his range of outcomes. We do expect him to be a little bit more involved, even though they added another tight end in the draft. Similar to the video that we did on Cortland Sutton, it's a bit disturbing to try to project out all of these guys considering how low pass volume this team was with Drew Lock under center, averaging the 25th most pass plays per game when Drew Lock was playing. So they're going to need to take a pretty massive step forward if all of these guys are going to return value on their draft slot. But considering they added Graham Glasgow, they added another tight end, they added Melvin Gordon, that signals to me that they still want this to be a run first offense. I do think they will open things up with Drew Lock a little bit and at least try to see if he's going to be their quarterback of the future. But overall, I think the philosophy of this team is let's run the ball first, and that's not going to leave a lot of additional volume for guys like Noah Fant, considering all the other people that they added in the offseason as well. So now, from a pure metric standpoint, give you guys something to be excited about, especially from a dynasty perspective. I think Noah Fant is one of the better tight ends to own right now. He had 300 yards after the catch, which even though he was one of the least targeted tight ends, that's still seventh best in the NFL. His yards per reception was second best at 14.1. As we've already mentioned, the vacated targets were only 58, so it's hard to imagine everyone being able to get a pretty hefty share of this pie with Jerry Jeudy, Albert O, and KJ Hamler coming to town, along with Melvin Gordon, all guys who are going to command a decent bit of volume in the passing game. Now, last year with Locke, Noah Fant finished as the 19th best tight end in terms of fantasy points, but 26 in points per game. And that's really just because he had that one really good game against Houston, and everything else was pretty poor. He only had 14 targets over those 5 weeks with Locke, which is less than 3 a week, but he did have a 10 catches on those 14 targets, so decent catch rate. And just because we like to pump him up a little bit, his best workout metric comp is George Kittle. So Noah Fant has a lot of promise. I actually really like him, again, from a dynasty perspective, but I'm not really expecting there to be too much of a massive step forward this year when you consider all the other elements. Now, it definitely is some upside there. If Drew Lock ends up taking a massive step forward, there's a couple injuries, or Noah Fant just straight up demands more targets, he could definitely outperform where he's getting drafted right now. You can get him pretty cheap, but overall, we're not expecting him to do too much more. We have him right at about 47 receptions, 625 receiving yards, and 5 total touchdowns. That would put him right about 140 fantasy points. There's a lot of guys that are going to finish around here, so that would put him into the realm of streaming when there is a good option and dumping him right back to the waiver wire. Not a guy that you're going to be wanting to start every single week. But again, he does have that upside if Drew Lock is able to completely revitalized the passing game in this team and is a lot more efficient than he was over the 5 weeks that he played last year. I'm just not projecting that to happen, but it's definitely within the range of outcomes for Noah Fant. So anyway, that was our in-depth look at Noah Fant. Hit me up in the comment section if you guys have any questions, and we'll be doing a lot more videos like this, so please hit that like and subscribe button for more content, and we will see you guys in the next video.